Hey everybody, welcome back to United SoundBites. I'm Joey.
I'm Sean.
All right. And we're here today to discuss a pretty popular topic, a hot topic right now. And
Very
that's
hot.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're just gonna ask a few questions and see if we can reach a conclusion, to what we think of some of these films and what we just think of the whole universe in general.
Yeah. So let's start off by how were you? I'll ask you first. How were you
Oh.
introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I heard about Iron Man, and I heard it was a good movie. You
Yes.
know, that was kind of like the whole buzz. Everyone was like, "Oh, John Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. They did it," But I was coming off the hype of the 2007 Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 at the time. I did not go see Iron Man in theaters. Uh, it was just kind of this buzz I was hearing. And my first Marvel movie that I saw in theaters, believe it or not, was at Josh's birthday party. And that was the Avengers. The very first
Oh my
Avengers film.
God.
Yeah. No, were you there? Were you at that party?
No.
Oh, well, it was pretty fun. Uh, um, but yeah, that's the first one I saw in theaters, and I remember, and even then, when did that come out? 2012?
Yeah, I think it was 2012.
Yeah. Even then, I wasn't hooked, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I understood the premise, and after watching that film, I went back and I watched the others, and then when a new one came out, I'd see it. I saw Guardians in theaters, and I saw Black Panther, and you know, but and I was starting to get more and more into it. Like I understood everything. I understood the story. But it wasn't until, believe it or not, my uncle. I was up visiting them in Pennsylvania, and he said, "Let's go see Avengers: Infinity War." And I was like, "All right," I didn't think it was a huge deal. But we saw it at this small theater. It was kind of like a small town USA kind of thing. It was very old, but very nice. And I was sitting there watching it, and the whole time, my mind was blown away at the fact that all of these characters were coming together and fighting fighting Thanos. Pretty much an unstoppable villain with the Infinity Stones. And when the credits rolled at the end of that film, that's it. I was hooked. I was like, this is freaking amazing. How could they end a movie like that? And so I watched all the films again, and I got prepared for Endgame. But that was pretty much my introduction. I wasn't
That's
too into it until then. Yeah.
that's an interesting timeline.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll tell you mine now. I mean, I saw Iron
Yeah.
Man when it came out in
Mm-hmm.
theaters, but I was 8 years old, so I
Yes.
didn't know what the hell was going on. But I thought I was like, wow, Iron Man's a pretty cool dude. But
That's as much as you could process at the
yeah, I mean,
moment.
pretty much. And then
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the next one I remember seeing was Iron Man 3. I don't remember seeing Iron Man 2.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, yes. Yeah, Iron Man 3 I also really loved
yeah, I think I like
when
the
I saw
music.
that. Yeah, yes. Yeah, no, serious. After that movie, I downloaded the whole soundtrack.
Yeah, the music's pretty
That's a
good.
great soundtrack.
The movie's all
Dun
right,
dun
but
dun 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 dun. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah, I do. But
Good. Just just refreshing your memory.
yeah, yeah, but and then after that, I think the next one I saw was I think it was Winter Soldier, but I didn't see it fully through because I watched it at my friend's house, who lived in my
Mm.
neighborhood. I think they had like a backyard movie or something like that, and we watched. That's what was on. I watched it. And I was like, wow, I didn't think of anything of it because I wasn't really into
Yeah.
superheroes or anything like that.
Well, I wasn't either.
But what actually, what I'm trying to think. What was the movie? The next one that I saw. Because I didn't see Guardians when it came out. I didn't see Guardians 2.
Oh,
I think the next one I saw was Doctor Strange.
I like that one.
Yeah, I mean
I like
that's one of
Doctor
my
Strange.
he's one of my favorite characters. But
Mm-hmm.
so after I saw Doctor Strange, this is funny because I was on a cruise, and
Oh,
there was a day at sea, and I literally watched every Marvel movie that they
oh
had, which
gosh.
was almost all of them.
Right. Well,
Everything
yeah.
except for Guardians of the Galaxy. I watched everything but that. Guardians 2 didn't come out
Wow.
at this time, I don't think.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember though.
Wow. So while you were getting your vacay
Yeah,
on,
I
you
watched all of them the entire day, and I was like, wow, this is it's pretty interesting. And then
holy moly.
I got really into it after what movie was it? I know I'm thinking of Star Wars. I'm thinking of remember I went with a group of people. To see
Oh,
that.
I could talk about that too.
Yeah, but I got into it. I got really into it because I just started watching YouTube videos about it. I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But then I went to see Infinity War, and I was like, it's tough. It's real tough. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's cool. Uh, you seem to get into it a little more than I did, a little quicker.
Yeah, I think I went from 0 to 100 in about one day.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, I was
Yes.
like, I wouldn't say 100. I was like 90%. Because after I watched all those on the cruise, I was like, wow. Now I know why people really like this stuff. Because
Yeah. No.
it is really good.
Yeah. And what they've accomplished in 10 years is
Yeah.
absolutely impressive.
I mean,
How they can.
the character development is like on point. Like,
Oh, 100%. Ever since the first movie, I found it amazing how each of these characters can have their own individual stories that you can, care for and relate and
yeah.
connect with them. And then when they all come together, it's amazing. Like you understand, you feel like you know these people.
Yeah, and I feel
And
like
when you're seeing them,
the character arcs that they have, they actually make sense.
mm-hmm,
Unlike
absolutely.
DC.
No, yeah, that's another. You know what? I didn't see Justice League until Thanksgiving.
Really.
This last Thanksgiving, yes. And
I tended to just stay away from DC because it was trash, but
yeah, but I was watching it, and the whole time, I thought the visual effects and the CGI were horrible.
yeah.
I I couldn't believe it, because the whole time I'm comparing this to Infinity War, and the main character in Justice League, he was kind of a bigger guy or whatever, and you'd think a movie with that kind of budget, trying to compete with what Marvel's doing, I was so not impressed with
Yeah.
any of the characters or the visual effects. The whole time I was just thinking of how bad it looked.
Yeah, I think the first DC movie that I was like, that's all right, was Aquaman.
Mm.
That was all right. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but I mean, it
Well,
was
that had
watchable.
style.
It was
Yeah.
watchable, and that's like
Oh, yeah.
Shazam was pretty good too.
I
I thought
liked Shazam
Shazam was
too.
pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we're digressing.
Yes. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. We can move on to the next question.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite character?
My favorite character. Now, are we talking MCU or kind of Marvel in
Just
general?
I would say MCU.
Okay. You know what? This is gonna sound well. I kind of have two. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
All right.
mine's technically a tie for first to third, but
um, I really like Drax.
yeah, Drax is
He
he's funny.
he's he's really funny, and he's a very simple character.
Yeah,
And sometimes the simple characters can really help a story in so many ways, not only just for comedic relief, but also like as a witness to Thanos and
Hmm.
just kind of building on to that, like, oh, you remember that Thanos killed his family too.
Yeah.
Uh, he's I just found him fascinating. The whole ever since I saw him in the first Guardians film, I was like, this guy is hysterical. And Dave Bautista, he's making a comeback in films now.
Yeah.
Uh, but I actually really enjoy him. But if I have to go for just a character that you know I think has one of the strongest arcs, and I've grown to love and connect to so much. It's gonna sound cliche, but it's Tony Stark.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
Um,
how anyone can't say.
yeah, I mean the way he went from being selfish to selfless,
Yeah.
and that is a I think that's really amazing. And they didn't do it quickly. They didn't do it too slowly.
Took 10,
Each film
10 years.
10,
10
10
years.
years.
Took him
But
10
each
years.
film, they meticulously put him in these situations that helped develop his character.
Yeah.
And just the way he'd interact with other characters, I I really admire how they wrote him and how Robert Downey Jr. performed him.
Yeah, I would say my favorite character it's it has to be Tony Stark. I mean, I don't
Hmm.
I mean, Thor is pretty close, but just because Iron Man or Tony Stark, he's been
Hmm.
good from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I mean, Thor was absolute trash in the first two movies, but I mean, I guess it could kind of be part of his arc, but I didn't like him at all in the first two movies.
No.
But once Thor Ragnarok came around, he bumped up far.
Oh yeah.
And then
Well, and
Fat
after
Thor is amazing.
no, I thought that was a good choice.
I thought that was great, and I loved
Yeah.
it. It was it's Chris Hemsworth, right? That's who plays it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I don't know why I get him mixed up with Chris Evans.
Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Chris
Yeah,
Pratt.
yeah,
It's
Chris.
just
Too
too
many
many.
Chris's. Yeah, but so yeah, and it was funny because I was reading this thing about how Chris. I thought, well, I don't know, I wasn't thinking anything, but Chris Hemsworth was actually really happy about them wanting to do the Fat Thor,
Yeah.
which I guess I was kind of surprised by. But I guess it's not because I mean it's a funny thing to do.
Yeah. He seems like a very good character actor,
Yeah, I really like him.
and yeah, and he's just really willing to do anything, and I love that he was just so ready to dive in and do something completely different with Thor.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it's great.
So moving on from favorite character, who's your least favorite?
Uh, it's easily Captain Marvel. uh, and it's not like it's not like I don't want to get any backlash for it, because
Yeah.
I know some people do like her,
Yeah.
but
For some reason.
she's here's the yeah, here's the thing for me. For her to come off as a strong female superhero, she felt like she needed to play her with no emotion.
Yeah, Brie Larson.
And yeah, Brie Larson. And I don't think that was a strong choice,
Yeah, me either.
because I'm sitting here, I'm trying, I'm watching the film, and the whole time she's just giving it stale, like a stale performance. And I saw her performance in Room.
Mm.
She has a range, you know? But what makes a strong character is the fact that you can see the emotions, that you can relate, that you can connect. Scarlett Johansson does this very well with Black Widow. Um, you know, and I was able to feel and connect, and even DC, even Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
I thought did an even better job. Also, number two, uh, well, I guess that's another question, so I'll kind of save that. But
Yeah.
I don't like I just didn't like the way she was performed and how snarky she was,
Yeah.
especially when coming into the Avengers, because it is a team
Hi,
kind
Peter
of effort.
Parker. You got something for me?
Oh my god. I don't
That
know.
was the cringiest thing, the
Was
cringiest
it
scene
just
ever.
me? Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Why is this happening?
Oh my gosh. Like just the way she said it, I didn't like.
I just
And even
that's why it's a meme
it
now.
was yeah, you're right. Um yeah, who's your least favorite character? Let's go to
The
you.
same. Captain
Oh.
Marvel. I mean, Brie Larson, awful, awful. She did an awful job doing the character, and I don't know if this is because of
Mhm.
her. I don't want to blame it on her, but I don't know if it's her or the
Mhm.
writers. But there was no emotion, and it. I wanted to die the entire time I watched the movie. I was like, "Where's the emotion?" It's like watching a fucking
Yeah.
wood plank
I,
act. I'm like, "What is happening? I don't understand." It
yeah,
was just there was no. Yeah, I don't want to move too far because I guess this would also be part of another question. But
mhm.
yeah, it's awful.
I am yeah. I think the only good part of the movie for me, and what I thought was the funniest part, was the joke where they have the vocal clip and they're trying to play it on the computer, but it's loading,
Yeah,
and they're all just kind of staring at it.
yeah.
I thought that was hysterical
I thought that was
because
pretty funny too.
we were we were part of the generation that was kind of on the edge of that. Like we got to experience that,
Yeah,
uh, and just the fact that we can relate to it, and I thought it was hysterical. Like they were all just, staring at it, and the camera was just going from each face, and I thought that was so well done.
yeah,
Um, that was the only good part of the movie for me, though. I hate to say it, but I didn't enjoy too much else.
yeah. So, well, moving to that, what is your favorite movie in the MCU?
You know what? It's gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy because it was so it was so different.
Yeah,
It
that's
took
what I was
such a
just gonna
different
say.
approach.
Yeah,
It had
the
great
visuals are
music. The
insane.
visuals, yeah, you're right. They're excellent. Uh, and it really took me aback. And even my stepdad, uh, you know him. He's not too much into the uh,
Superheroes.
superhero movies. But even he said, you know how he likes to exaggerate things. He's like,
Yeah,
it's the greatest superhero movie of all time. He was, he was just even him. He really
that's
got
funny.
into it through that movie. Um, I think that has a lot to say because he's kind of a hard person to move.
Yeah,
He's really stuck on his '80s films. But I just thought James Gunn did such a great job with these characters and making them human, making them relatable, and it just goes to show with the script as well
yeah,
how well they were fleshed out. I thought it was excellent. I think that's probably my favorite.
yeah. I'm trying to think because I really liked Guardians. I really like Guardians too, but I've watched Thor Ragnarok probably like 5 times, so I'm gonna say that's my favorite.
Oh,
And
I don't blame
that
you.
was Taika Waititi. What I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean I feel like he took a little nod from James Gunn and added the visuals in
Mm-hmm.
that are pretty good too.
But he
I
also had a,
liked.
he also had a sense of even Wes Anderson and Stanley
Yeah,
Kubrick
yeah.
in his filmmaking too, with some of those center on shots.
hmm I mean, and I think what he did with Thor, I mean that was the quickest character arc. Like I mean I know
Mm-hmm.
it didn't end yet, but I mean that was the quickest change out of
Yeah.
any character, and it actually worked.
Yeah. He almost reinvented the
And
character. It
it's
was so
like
well
you
done.
watch it and you're just like, yeah, that's what Thor's supposed to be. But then you watch like Thor: Dark World and you're like, this ain't the same guy. Like what is happening?
No,
But
no.
it's weird because it works perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense because he completely changes,
Mm-hmm.
but it worked, and I like the movie.
and I
So I'll
like
say
the
that's it.
movie.
I mean, I've watched it like 5 times. So
Yeah. I mean, they did do such a great job with that. And also the director, he played uh who's Thor's friend?
oh, the Rock guy,
Yeah, the rock
Korg.
guy. Korg.
Yeah,
Yeah, he played him too,
Korg. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What a
Korg's
great
funny.
character as well. Oh my gosh. Hello, this is Chip. Oh gosh, I don't even know them.
All right. Well, what's your least favorite movie?
You know, it was between these two movies for me, and it was between Thor: The Dark World
Yeah.
and Captain Marvel again. You know, I and you know what? I'm gonna have to lean toward Captain Marvel because this is a major reason. There was no style to it.
Yeah.
There was no directorial style. Like you couldn't tell who the heck it was directed by. The
That
color
reminds me.
palette was
Who
bland.
was it? Who was it directed by?
You know what? I'm gonna be
Don't
honest.
even know.
I don't know. I don't even know.
I'll look it up for you while you talk.
Yeah, look it up. Um, but I mean, the color palette was just so bland, and it didn't scream strong, fun hero
Oh, I mean,
to me.
strong, yeah, but fun,
Strong, sure,
fun. No.
yeah. No, and you know, and but even Thor: The Dark World, even that had some directorial style,
Yeah.
and that kind of goes back to Aquaman. Aquaman had a style, it
Yeah.
had these fast zooms and and that's when you can tell, like when you watch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, you can tell that's his style with those quick zooms and the pans and the ins and out. I mean, it's excellent, I mean, it's very Evil Dead, but that's just how he does things.
Yeah.
This I could not tell you any particular scene that stood out to me other than the one scene that made me laugh, which was the computer scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's my least favorite movie too. I was just gonna say Thor: Dark World, but it,
Mm-hmm.
just I mean the story was kind of awful. I mean the story, I don't like the story at all. Like I don't like her
Mm.
story at all, not one bit.
No, well,
She had nothing in her way. I mean, it was
no.
literally like, oh, they put a little chip on your neck. You never thought no one else has it. You are the only one that
Mm-hmm.
has it. Maybe you take it off.
Right.
I mean, like, and then one thing that stood out to me, I thought it was weird. You know how she has like the mask when she flies in space,
Yeah,
but at the end she goes up to the ship
she
and she's
does.
not wearing the mask.
You're right.
Like, so does she need the mask, or is it just like a fashion like thing? Like, because it looks
You know
awful.
what? I think
I mean,
I didn't like the mask either.
yeah,
I think it was kind of a stylistic choice near the end of the film to
yeah,
not have it.
not have it. Yeah, and another
Uh,
thing I thought was weird that
mm-hmm.
she was like when she changed the color of her uniform.
Mm.
The guy said like, "Why'd you change the color of your uniform?" or something. I don't remember exactly what he said, but
Right.
like,
Oh
so
well,
then why do they have that
that
built
was
into the suit? Like what? If that's
right.
frowned upon, then why do you have it?
Right. Why are you able to change it?
Yeah, and then why? And then she's like, "I don't like the Kree anymore. I'm gonna change the color." Well, you're wearing the
Mm-hmm.
symbol of the Kree, so I don't know how much that's doing for you.
Yeah,
But
that was really interesting.
I thought
Kind
the
of how
movie
they
was
did that.
just God, my throat.
And you know what? I went in wanting to like it
Yeah,
though.
I was like, I was going into. I mean, I tried not to read anything on Twitter or anything, just
Mm-hmm.
because I knew like if it was bad, there's gonna be a lot of stuff. So I just
Well,
tried not
yeah.
to
Well,
look at it too much.
I think that's another thing that I just didn't like about this movie. It has nothing to do with the movie itself, but just the lead up and the controversy.
Oh yeah,
Um, it was too much. It was too much on from anyone who was screaming on Twitter. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, listen, if it's a strong character and a great story, then that's phenomenal,
yeah.
and I like it.
yeah, what the thing I had a problem with was like people who criticized it were criticized because they're saying, "Oh, this is a woman. You don't like the
Mm-hmm.
woman." No, it's just a
Mm-hmm.
shit movie.
No. Well, yeah. No, seriously.
Like for real,
Um,
if it's a woman, I don't care who it is. I
no,
love
I
Black
could
Widow.
truly
I
care
wish there was a
less. You
Black
can
Widow
take,
movie.
yeah. No, you can take my money, you know?
Exactly. Like I thought it was gonna be a good movie. I thought it was gonna be good.
I did too.
I wanted it to
Because,
be
you know,
good.
this was leading up to Endgame, you know?
Yeah, and
This
I was
was
like,
the
wow, this is gonna be
last
great. This
movie.
is gonna be nice. I'm gonna get a double whammy of Marvel.
Ye- Double whammy.
But I ended up being like a. I don't know how to explain it. I just it was awful.
Mm-hmm. No, and that was, it was just rough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes sometimes. You know, sometimes you're gonna have hit and misses, especially in a franchise this huge.
Yeah, but
Um,
this was a big. Oh, by the way, I have
oh, yeah, who's the
the
director?
directors. There's two.
Oh,
Anna
two? Are
Boden
you
and
kidding
Ryan
me?
Fleck.
Say him again?
Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck.
Man, it took two directors
I don't think.
to
Okay,
make a
so I'm
movie
looking
like
at Ryan Fleck's movies, and looks like Captain Marvel is the biggest one he did. And let me see Anna
Mm.
Boden. Biggest one she
She's
did. Oh, she was. Wait a minute.
she's an
She was.
established
Oh,
independent filmmaker, isn't she?
well, she filmed. She was on the same movies as the other guy.
Oh,
Half Nelson, Mississippi Grind. It's kind of a funny story. Sugar. And three more. Let me see what
so
the other
I'm
three are.
assuming they're a team.
I guess. And that was awful. I mean, I've never heard of their other
Uh,
movies, so I mean, who let these people
I
do
guess.
this?
Well, you know what? If there's one thing I respect about Marvel is that they like to take small independent filmmakers to come in to make
Yeah,
these movies.
I guess that is good, but I mean, this
Yeah.
was a huge blunder.
Well, this was unfortunately
It still
didn't
made a
come
lot of
out.
money though, so I mean, I guess they
Oh,
got
yeah.
that going. So they hopefully,
They're happy
I'm
on their
hoping
end.
her character arc really revives her because I want it to be a good character. Cause
Me too. Me too.
I read
I
some
agree.
of the comics and I was like, wow, this could be good.
Mm-hmm. No, I 100% agree. So hopefully they do that. Hopefully they
Yeah,
really.
I don't like Marvel having bad characters, which is why I'm happy they did with it. I hope they did do with her what they did with Thor, but sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I think that's a good way to kind of describe it.
Yeah. All right. So what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on Endgame?
Endgame. I was pumped to see this film. You know, like I said, after Infinity War, I was hooked. I was all in it. I watched the movies again, and you know, I took like 3 P's before the movie started.
I did not do that.
And I was not disappointed. People, I read reviews, they said that they thought the first beginning part was slow.
Yeah,
I didn't feel that.
I did.
I was hooked.
I mean,
Really?
I mean, I feel like the people who said that weren't as into it as we are.
Probably.
I still thought it was
Probably.
pretty slow, but I
Mhm.
found it interesting because you have to know the characters to find it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they truly did go in such a completely different direction, from
Yeah.
the comics, from at least what I've read, like people had no idea, especially when they whacked off Thanos' head right
Oh yeah, right in the
in
beginning.
the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, what is this movie going to be? Eventually we find out it's the time heist.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, all right. So they cut his head off. Now what?
Right.
But I had
um,
read some stuff about time travel, so I was like, okay, it makes sense. They're gonna go back in time. But
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that Thanos was gonna come back. And be like,
No.
hey yo, what's up?
No, I know, and it was like the badass 2014 Thanos.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy, and he still smacked
Yeah.
some people
He did.
without the
even
gauntlet. Like I feel like
without
they
the
needed to do
gauntlet.
that though because people didn't realize how powerful he actually was. Like without the gauntlet, he slapped everyone. I mean,
Exactly.
I feel like they had to kind of make fat Thor just because Thor would have murked him in like 2 seconds with two
Yeah.
hammers. Like he would have
Mm-hmm.
smacked Thanos.
Right.
Like it would have been over.
Yeah. They did. I mean, they did such a great job though, just with him as a character.
Yeah.
From Infinity War, Josh Brolin.
What a guy.
Wow, what a like truly what a guy, because he brought that character to life.
Yeah, he's like he
Because
is Thanos.
yeah, no,
When he
like
talks, all
you.
I think is Thanos. Like he was doing an
You're
interview, and I was like, "That's Thanos doing an interview."
right. Seriously, but that I mean that's just a testament to how good of an actor he is. And when you're watching the film, especially Infinity War, you understand what he's doing and why he's doing it.
Yeah,
You
you
don't agree
understand
with
it.
him,
Yeah,
but the fact that you understand what he's trying to accomplish, it makes him such a much stronger character.
yeah, because you can actually relate to the villain, unlike every other villain ever.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, Loki's a
Um,
pretty good villain, but besides him,
mm,
Thanos.
yeah, I loved it. And then they really subverted my expectations when on the screen it was all black, right? And it said 5 years.
5 years. I was like,
later.
"Whoa, wait a minute."
I was like, holy crap, not 5 months, not five,
5
it was
minutes.
5 years.
Not 5 seconds. 5 years.
Yeah,
So
no,
they just
I was,
sat around for 5 years. I mean, I guess you can't.
I guess,
I mean,
yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Have a family
Well,
like someone did.
Tony Stark. He
Yeah.
said, "Ayo, I got a daughter."
Yeah.
I don't have
And
to
that
help
was
you
that was
guys.
really heartwarming.
Yeah.
Um, when he came out and he was like,
I thought
Chow
he was
time,
calling a
you know.
dog.
so did I.
Was
I
like, "Man,
wasn't
you got a
expecting
dog?"
it. And when she came out in the helmet, I was like, oh
Oh
man,
man.
yeah, it's adorable. She's been getting bullied. Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, I just saw a video today of her saying, I'm only 5 or 7 years old or whatever, and she's like, I do silly things sometimes, but I'd appreciate if there would be no more threats to me or my family. And I'm like, who
I would.
the
I will. I
hell?
will go to these people's houses and I will do bad things to them.
Yeah, no, and even at the end, she was like, I love you 3,000. I'm like, oh my
Oh my
gosh,
God.
how could you bully this girl? You know what? And it's the same thing that happened with Jake Lloyd in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Because he got bullied, and people were sending death threats to him and his family, and he ended up in jail. He ended up doing all this horrible stuff.
Wow.
He got his life turned back around, but why are people bashing kid actors?
I don't. People, because people aren't smart.
Yeah,
It comes down
yeah,
to that.
like,
People don't think. Like this is
So,
a kid.
exactly. They had the opportunity as a child to get work in this huge film that you're going to make a lot of money on. She'll probably be set for retirement.
Probably.
um, and you're just going to bash on her and her performance? Like, oh my gosh, she's 5 years old. Same with Jake Lloyd. He was, what, like 10 or whatever? I don't remember. And you're going to bash on him, practically screw up his whole life, send death threats to him because you didn't play Anakin Skywalker the way you wanted. That wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, a part of it, I don't know. I mean,
it is. I feel like back in the day, it was harder to find good child actors, but nowadays, I feel like they're all pretty good.
well, yeah. Well, I think it's more accessible with the internet and
Yeah.
just these apps that you can audition with now and
Yeah.
stuff. It's incredible. But yeah,
So
that was
Endgame-
really
Endgame was
heartbreaking.
pretty amazing. I mean, they
Yeah,
really when Captain America said, "Ayo, Avengers assemble," I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah. No, oh my gosh. Well, he said Avengers and then,
And then blank.
the
I was like,
hammer. Boom.
oh my god!
Assemble.
I'm getting.
Oh my
I'm getting
gosh.
chills just thinking about it. Like,
Yes. Seriously. Oh my. I saw the movie 3 times.
I saw it.
I
Three times.
Look at that. We're on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, I went to see it, and I wish I didn't, though. I wish I just saw it in IMAX, but IMAX 3D, my eyes were dead by the end of that. I had to
Yeah.
drive a half an hour home.
Mm.
But I
Yeah,
thought
it's
that was
rough.
pretty good. But
Mm-hmm.
one
But the
part,
first time,
one,
yeah. What
one,
were you gonna say?
one part in the movie that I understand why they added it, but I thought it was stupid, was with all the girl characters.
Mm.
I mean, okay, I'm not sexist or anything, but like I feel like it was just like if they were really fighting like that, are all the women just gonna be like, hey yo, y'all trying to link up and go do the same thing? And then another thing, when Mantis was in there, I was like, what is she gonna do? Put him to sleep? Like she ain't gonna do that.
Uh.
Like what is she gonna do? Why is she? And she was looking all tough, and I was like, what is she gonna do? Nothing.
um.
But I thought
I
that
think
was.
if
I just
they,
feel like that was like forced into it. Which,
I think if they didn't put it in,
they'd get backlash, but I feel
they'd
like they
get
wouldn't because
backlash.
they're getting backlash because they did. They're gonna get backlash no matter what they do.
That's true.
Which is another reason, which apparently they didn't put Captain Marvel in it as much as they were originally going to. Well, no, they
Yeah.
shot two apparently, two different movies. One with a lot more Captain Marvel, and one with not a lot. Which I guess we got the one with not a
Yeah.
lot, which was a good thing. Peter Parker. I hate the way she says that.
I heard, yeah, that Brie Larson filmed Endgame before Marvel.
Oh yeah, it was before Captain Marvel. It was from
Yeah,
before
so
that.
she had no idea who she was playing.
Yeah, I mean,
This whole time.
she didn't know who she was playing in Captain Marvel too. So
Yeah. No.
I mean, it didn't
I
change. The character didn't change at all.
no. No, I guess it was just representation.
Yeah, I mean,
Why they did that.
They don't need it. It's not needed. I know there's women there.
Right.
I know it gives some people a fuzzy feeling.
I guess it's one of those things where, it's okay to have,
yeah, but if you don't have
it's
it,
okay to have, but we notice it as an audience,
Yeah.
and that could be a good or bad thing.
Let
And
me-
that's up for people's own opinions
let me
because
tell you
that's
what.
important.
My favorite
Yeah.
part of the movie was
Mhm.
when Thanos punched Captain Marvel and it did nothing. So he grabbed the Power Stone and just punched her out of the movie. I thought that was amazing. I was like, "Thank you." Someone had to do it.
That was really interesting how all the choreographed fights were so well done,
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my gosh, like I never would have crossed my mind to have Thanos grab the Power Stone and then punch Captain Marvel, or to have Captain America swing Thor's hammer into his shield, bam,
Oh, yeah,
bounce
and then
off,
bang,
and oh
yeah.
my gosh, my theater when we saw that for the first time when Captain America caught
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. That's how you say it. I didn't want to say it and make myself look stupid. But when my whole theater went,
Yeah.
I mean, it was what a moment. Yeah, the whole room was electric, and we all felt connected.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, "Oh, they really did it. They did it this time. They made it really good." I don't know what to say.
They did.
But man,
They
him
did.
fighting Thanos that's one of my favorite scenes in the entire
Mm-hmm.
universe.
Yeah, I
Fighting
agree.
Thanos is just amazing.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, and of course,
it was excellent.
I came in. I went into it like I'm not gonna cry. There's no way I'm gonna ever cry. Right? I don't cry about anything. I never cry at all.
Mhm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark
I
died.
know.
I said, I was like, why am I crying?
Well, I teared up the first time. The second time I teared up again.
I've cried every time I watched it.
But the third, I bawled.
And I just, I don't
like,
know why. It's not even like I'm just sitting there and there's water falling out of my eyes. I'm like,
Exactly.
why is this happening?
Exactly. I mean, it was like everything just hit me in those last moments. And when you see his arc reactor go out, and then everyone that he's impacted throughout the years at his funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, just the one shot, it was absolutely amazing.
I thought it was
You
so
know?
funny though how they put proof that Tony Stark has a heart
Yeah.
on.
Well,
It's a
it was
it's a
very
callback.
heartfelt.
Yeah,
You know, it was heartfelt. Uh, really emotional.
yeah, it was a good movie.
It was excellent. I'm
Moving on from
really
that though,
yes. Yeah. Let's move on.
don't want to
Are there
cry
more topics?
again.
No.
Um, so in the future, what do we have coming up now? We have Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yes.
I know James Gunn is now back and he's doing Guardians 3,
Yep.
which was supposed to come out 2019, but it's coming out in 2020 apparently.
Mm.
Um, Captain Marvel 2 I think is in production. Doctor Strange 3, some other stuff, but so
Doctor
what do
Strange
you
3.
yeah, what do you or no, Doctor Strange 2, not 3. I don't know
Oh.
why did I think there were two.
Just wanted to clear that up. I didn't.
Yeah, but so what do you want to see? What do you want to see in the future?
there. This. All right. So when I saw the Far From Home trailer, and uh, Samuel L. Jackson said, "The snap tore a hole in our dimensions."
Yeah.
I really would love to see one scene of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I know it's kind of reaching out,
Yeah, yeah.
but I am such a huge Raimi fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I think he's the best Spider-Man. And maybe we can get into that another time.
Yeah.
But I would just love to see them all together, you know?
Yeah, well,
Kind of just
on the topic of the portal opening, I
mhm.
don't know if that's actually going to happen, the portal opening thing. I feel like what's his name? Mysterio? Is that his name?
Mysterio, yeah.
Mysterio. I feel like he might be lying cuz in the comics
He might be.
he's a bad guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, but I don't you never know. I mean, they're going to throw some curveball at us, I guarantee it.
Mhm. Oh yeah. I think that's the one thing I'd really like to see. I just want an official kind of handing of the torch,
Yeah,
you
that'd be
know.
nice.
Spider-Man, he's been a big part of just of my life, of my superhero life, I guess you could say. And ever since the first movie came out in 2002. So
Long time ago.
I'd love to just kind of see that. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, I want to see which
Yeah, what do you want to see?
there are rumors that
Oh.
my guy Keanu Reeves, aka John Wick, has been
Oh.
talking about coming into the movies, man. I want to see him. I
Yes.
want to see him as. I want to see him in Guardians 3. I want to see him as Adam
Mhm.
Warlock.
Mm.
He would fit perfectly into that character, I think.
I agree.
Except
I
for the blonde
he's
hair. I think he has blonde hair in the comics.
well, look what they're doing in post-production nowadays. You know, I mean, making people look younger.
Yeah,
Sure.
just getting people
Yeah, just getting people.
from
Um
dead people, and just put them in movies. You know,
oh
Grave
yeah,
digging.
like a Grand Moff Tarkin.
You know who else could play Adam Warlock though? I don't know
Who?
if you watch Game of Thrones, but
I I've seen the first season.
the guy who plays Jaime Lannister, he's Swedish. I don't know what his name is,
Oh.
but that guy, I feel like he could play him.
Hmm.
Or Jim from The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yes,
Really?
I feel like that would work. But I would say
That's
Keanu
interesting.
Reeves. I want Keanu Reeves, but those two would work
Yes.
too.
That's really interesting. I never heard John Krasinski come up.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like that would work.
no, that's cool. That's really cool. I never considered that. But yeah, I'd like to see Keanu in there too. He has a range too. I don't. Have you seen that Netflix romantic comedy? Always Be My Maybe.
No, I don't. I don't watch rom coms.
Oh, well, that's a That's a guilty pleasure of mine. Of mine.
I hate those
Uh,
stuff. I hate that stuff. I'm just like, I don't want to watch it ever.
well, yeah, and it's. I mean, most of them are bad.
Yeah.
You know, but it's because they're bad. I just love them. I eat them up, man. uh, so that's kind of like the newest Netflix one, and it was pretty good actually. It was pretty funny. There's this. Do you want to watch it? You're probably not gonna watch it. Can I spoil it for you?
Yeah, you can spoil it. I'm probably not gonna watch it.
Okay. Well, there's this one scene where the lady comes in. She's like, "I'm dating someone," and he's like, "Who?" You know, and Keanu Reeves walks in,
Oh my god.
and
It's
he
over.
no seriously like, because the guy who asked who are you dating is trying to get with this girl, right?
Yeah.
And he walks in, and it's hysterical. Like such a completely different character from John Wick. He was playing kind of like an exaggerated version of himself,
Uh-huh.
uh, and it was brilliant. He was cracked me up. Like just everything from his movements. He they're like, "You're crazy." He's like, "Am I the one that's crazy?" Like it was so well done. Just his part, I think that really stood out to me. So he does have a range, and I'd like to see him in other thing in the MCU as well. That's kind of what I was
love Keanu
circling
Reeves.
back to.
It's my guy. I never
Yes.
I never got really into actors' names, but Keanu Reeves is my actor.
Yeah, no, serious, and that's a cool name too.
I
That's
do
a
like
name you will
Benedict
not
Cumberbatch
forget.
too, though.
I do too.
Someone
I
said I
thought
looked
his
like him, but I was like, nah.
um
My
a
face is
little,
too fat.
a little.
Nah, I
Well,
don't see
no,
it.
well,
I don't see it at all.
your face is long, and his
And
face is long.
yeah, but and his is squared off a little bit more than I guess if I lost some more weight.
Well, do some chin ups.
That won't help.
Do a little chin up. What? Do they work?
I mean, they work for your chin up. I'm trying to think which way your hands go. I guess that would be back. It's either back
No,
or
I'm
biceps
talking
or
about
arms.
like just moving your chin
Oh.
up.
Oh, I thought
Does
you
that
meant like
work?
chin ups.
Does that create a jawline?
I guess. I mean,
I
just
heard that creates a
smacked my
jawline.
mic. Let's see. I don't know. Does it? I mean, I have a beard too, so that kind of blocks it.
Oh,
But it kind of helps because it
man.
makes my face not look as round.
Hey, yeah, that's true. I might do chin ups if we find. I'll look that up later. But anyway,
I think we've
is that it? Did we cover the MCU? Our
the
thoughts?
entire MCU. Yes, I believe
That's
as in depth as we felt like going.
absolutely.
We could
Didn't
talk
want this
about
to get
even
too
more.
long.
Yeah, we could talk about individual stuff later.
Of course. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and if you made it this far, we'd like to thank you once again for listening to United SoundBites.
Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button.
Yeah.
You don't have to smash
We
it, just click it. It's all
click
right.
it. Do whatever you need. Be violent to it. Tickle it.
No, don't tickle it. That's no.
We, we hope you also had a few laughs along the way too.
Yeah.
Because that's always fun. That's a good time. And we hope you tune in next time for our next podcast, our next discussion. If you're on a long car ride, or you're just working out, or you're
I do not advise listening to this while you're working out. Just gonna point that out.
Why?
Because it's boring. You gotta get right when you're working out. You gotta get swole. You gotta go hard.
I listen to boring stuff
You
when I'm
gotta.
working out.
I do sometimes, but then I just want to die. So I also take pre-workout too. So
Sometimes I listen to podcasts that make me laugh while I work out, and then I got
I guess
weights above me, and I'm laughing so hard that I'm about to drop the weight. So then I had to stop listening to.
Yeah, I couldn't do that benching like 205 pounds. Just be like, start laughing. As
Whoa,
I would
200.
kill myself.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I do inclines 20 pounds each.
Interesting. We'll have to work on that.
Trying to get swole. All right. Next time we see each other,
All
you be
right.
my trainer. I'm
All
really
right.
trying to get I'm trying to get fit, man.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have a workout podcast for you guys sometime. I don't know.
Oh, gosh, you can talk. I don't know. I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I could talk about my intro to working out.
All right. Well, I
Yeah.
think that's about it.
All right. Cool.
Adios.
Thanks for listening, gang.